The stones and bones used to explain the past to archaeologists are often safely buried in the ground. But what happens to the history stored in memories and stories when they cease to exist? This is a question that has always troubled me. As an archaeologist, I'm interested in how we create our stories about the past. In my profession, we understand objects as text, reading culture and movement from the frozen traces they've left behind. For many of the Inuit with whom I work, history is not reliant on these material tokens from the past. History, for that matter, is not reliant on the past. It's a way of life, an entity, kept alive through the stories and experiences of modern people. The Inuit elder Ikinilik once said of her culture, "We forget the things that we don't use." The collective memory of history, like any creature, must be regularly fed. Stories must be told, skills handed down, the old ways rewoven into everyday patterns of use. In 2009, I found myself sharing stories with elders in the community of Cambridge Bay. When our conversation happened to turn to kayaks, the stories stopped. No one could remember the proper way to build the region's traditional style of boat. 100 years ago, kayaks were essential to the Inuit way of life. In the fall and summer months, migrating caribou would be directed towards rivers by lines of stone cairns. It was there that the hunters in kayaks would be waiting. While fast on land, the caribou floundered in the river's depths and could easily be speared. With the appearance of rifles and metal boats, kayak hunting gradually fell out of practice. With only 3 of these original kayaks left in museums around the world, the elders decided that it was important that they were once again used. Remembering the history of kayak building is not about knowing how to construct a boat. It's about finding the right spot to camp, a place where seals can be harvested for their skins and the willows grow high enough to bend into boat ribs. It's about leaving the town behind and feeding yourself with whatever the earth and sea give forth. Remembering the gift of living in order to survive off the land. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people, elders who fish lost details from the deep pools of their minds to feed the young. It took us 3 weeks to build a boat. Throughout this time, a carefully drawn map from one of the museum kayaks sat unused on the ground, its corners curling and lines fading beneath the sun and rain. Reviving history is not about creating replicas or following instructions to a T. The motion of a traditional bow drill is allowed to work alongside the efficiency of a modern circular saw. As one elder told me, we use whatever gets the job done. The final kayak now sits in Cambridge Bay's Cultural Heritage Centre as a testament to living history. Having been built with dimensions that made it unable to float, the boat never knew the taste of water. The kayak provides passage on a different kind of surface, a complicated channel that flows between generations, the past and the future. The stories we tell about history do not perfectly resemble what once occurred. Whether consciously or not, we layer our lessons about the past with our own dreams, our own expectations and hopes. To record the past, whether through narratives or artifacts, is to ensure that a part of ourselves stays alive.